Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something super fascinating for anyone tracking the wild world of modern transportation. We're going to break down the strategic positioning and the hardcore economics of the highly anticipated Kia EV4. This isn't just another electric car rolling off the line. It's a meticulously designed machine built specifically for what industry analysts are calling the ergonomic traditionalist. Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start by meeting the Pragmatic Challenger, then look at the luxury of physical controls, and explore how it's built for regional roads. After that, we'll break down the trim levels, calculate the total cost of ownership, and wrap up with our final verdict. All right, Section 1. Let's meet the Pragmatic Challenger and see exactly how it's disrupting the EV status quo. Honestly, I want you to keep this question right in the back of your mind as we talk about the EV4 today, because this car actively rejects that homogenized, rounded jelly bean look and those stark Spartan interiors we've all come to expect from early EVs. Up until now, the market has been totally obsessed with this screen-heavy minimalism. But Kia? Well, they're taking a very deliberate step in the exact opposite direction. They're building on their dedicated E-GMP platform, using a design language they call Opposites United. And yeah, it is intentionally polarizing. We're talking bold lines and a low-slung sedan silhouette that absolutely refuses to just blend in with the sea of identical cars. It really proves that you don't have to give up everyday usability just to get a cool, futuristic vibe. But here's the real kicker. Even with that striking, almost aggressive geometric shape, it somehow manages a highly efficient aerodynamic drag coefficient of just 0.23. In the EV world, cutting through the air that efficiently is a total game changer, because it directly translates into real-world energy savings and way more range. Basically, you get the bold look without paying the aero penalty. Okay, moving on to Section 2. Let's talk about the luxury of physical controls, or what I like to call the ergonomic rebellion. Now, this is a huge differentiator. Kia is actively bringing back the luxury of controls. If you look at competitors like the Tesla Model 3, you're often forced into this completely minimalist screen-only ecosystem, where just changing the AC or finding an address takes multiple frustrating taps. The EV4, it pairs gorgeous dual 12-inch screens with actual tactile physical toggles. We're talking real buttons for your dual-zone climate, fan speed, and volume. Plus, you get native wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto right out of the box. And look, this isn't just about what feels nice. It is absolutely crucial for your safety. Physical buttons massively reduce your cognitive load. They keep your eyes on the road where they belong. And having those dual screens keeps vital data right in your line of sight. Honestly, it creates such a shallow learning curve, making the EV4 the perfect transition car for anyone who wants to go electric but doesn't want to relearn how to just turn on the heater on a cold day. Right onto Section 3, built for regional roads and dynamic local tuning. A big issue with global EVs is that they usually have a one-size-fits-all suspension. Because they have to support heavy batteries, they often end up feeling super stiff and jarring. But Kia engineered custom regional suspension and steering calibrations. This local tuning is specifically designed to soak up massive potholes, brutal expansion joints, and really uneven country roads. The result is a ride that's relaxed, compliant, and genuinely comfortable. Under the hood, well, on the front axle anyway, you've got a front-wheel drive setup with a 150-kilowatt motor that actually comes standard across all the trims. So sure, it's not going to give you that neck-snapping, aggressive punch of a rear-wheel drive sports EV, but that's really not the point. This setup delivers beautifully refined, predictable power. It's meant to be an excellent, quiet, long-distance country tour that just seamlessly blends into your drive. Let's jump into Section 4 and break down the trim levels so you can navigate the lineup and find your perfect fit. You're basically looking at 3 distinct flavors here. First up, the Air trim. With its 55 to 58.3 kilowatt-hour battery, it's insanely efficient, getting around 13.5 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers. Adding great rear legroom, and it's absolutely perfect for daily commuters or rideshare drivers. Then you step up to the Earth trim, aimed right at private families. It's got the bigger 78 to 81.4 kilowatt-hour battery, hitting that perfect sweet spot range of 612 to 625 kilometers. Finally, for luxury buyers, there's the GT line, which rocks the big battery, premium audio, and 19-inch wheels for the ultimate ride and handling combo. Now, for our American listeners, we've got to talk strategy. There's a looming risk of 25% import tariffs that could potentially impact the EV4's awesome sub-$40,000 entry price. But here's the genius part. Kia is including the standard NACS charging port right from the factory. That means native, instant access to the massive Tesla supercharger network, totally future-proofing the car for long road trips no matter what happens with pricing shifts. Which brings us perfectly to Section 5, Total Cost of Ownership, and breaking down the economic equation. I know battery degradation is a huge fear for anyone buying an EV. But check this out. Rigorous testing on the E-GMP platform shows that even after 120,000 kilometers of intensive use, these cells still retain greater than 95% of their original capacity. That's incredible, and it proves this car is going to be a highly viable asset well into its second decade. And the day-to-day savings are just fantastic. If you're driving roughly 20,000 kilometers a year and mostly charging at home, you're looking at netting about 1,600 euros in operating savings every single year compared to a gas car. That is a serious chunk of change staying right in your pocket. When you stack those daily energy savings on top of their peace of mind architecture, the economics are just undeniable. You're getting a 7-year or 150,000 kilometer vehicle warranty alongside an 8 to 10-year battery warranty. Add in incredibly cheap capped price servicing, like roughly $1,038 for 5 whole years, and a robust, traditional physical dealer network, and your risk of expensive financial downtime is practically zero. Finally, Section 6. Let's get to our final verdict on this human-centric alternative. I absolutely love how our sources put this. The Kia EV4 is not merely a vehicle, it is a calculated financial tool. By prioritizing real-world ride comfort, giving us back our actual physical controls, and locking in long-term financial stability instead of just chasing a Spartan minimalist fad, the EV4 is a seriously pragmatic asset for your daily life. Well, that wraps up our explainer for today. Thank you so much for joining me to dig into these awesome market insights. I really hope this helps you out on your own car buying journey. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Looking at that perfect blend of tactile controls and smart economics, is it time you demanded a bit more practical luxury from your next vehicle?